Richard Corey here in Camp Verde at a resident of Camp Verde, Larry Ogden, who has written a book on genealogy. And all of us at one time or another are really interested in genealogy as far as our roots and where we started from. He's actually written a book and explained how you can go about finding your roots also, that maybe wouldn't take as long as it took him. So let's go inside and find out more about his history and heritage, Larry Ogden. Hi, Verde Valley. Richard Corey here in the home of Larry Ogden. Thanks for letting me come in, Larry.
Good to see you again, Richard.
Larry has really taken on quite an adventure in his life, and trying to find out more about his heritage and his history of where he came from. And I think we all have that kind of a feeling that we're part of something, or we're part of something, but really don't know. And a lot of people think it's maybe too impossible to find out. But Larry, you've actually written a book on it. It's kind of a nice story how that all came about, Larry.
Well, my younger brother in 1996 was dying of cancer, and we grew up knowing that we were related to the founder of St. Joe, Missouri, Joseph Robidoux, and his brothers. And I was asking my brother if there was anything that I could do for him and his children, and he said yes. He said, I would like you to find out the connecting point between us today and the founder of St. Joe, Missouri, Joseph Robidoux.
Wow.
And so I started to undertake that, and of course the best thing in genealogy is always talk to the elders in your family.
So if you're fortunate to have them around.
Yes, I was fortunate enough to have my dad's sisters. They were in their 80s and 90s, and so they gave me some insight to a book on the Robidoux family, and it was called In Memory of the Robidoux Brothers by a lady named Robidoux that wrote it.
But that's a whole different story, the Robidoux, because your heritage, your Indian heritage. When I think I've known you several years, I never thought in a second that you were part Indian.
No, I am enrolled with the Iowa tribe.
The Iowa tribe. Right.
And my cousin is the chief of the tribe, Chief White Cloud, Jim Rod. And I always knew that I was enrolled with the Iowa tribe. But and no, I don't look Indian. People are surprised when I have to show them my enrollment card, you know. Yeah. But now my twin brother, he's got dark brown eyes, dark brown hair,
complected too,
and darker skin than I do. And so, well, how can you be twins? You know, I said, well,
that's true. God's way,
it's in the genes.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, get back to my brother and connecting us to that Robidoux. Anyway, my book's name is Gray Eagle, My Brother.
Gray Eagle.
And that was what my brother had the.
So hold it up there in front of that thing right there, just to get a picture of it.
Gray Eagle, My Brother, and there's a drawing of Chief White Cloud on the front of it. But my brother got his name, Gray Eagle, from one of the spiritual leaders in the valley here, named him Gray Eagle. And it turned out, ironically, to be an appropriate name, because in my research I found out that my grandmother and her siblings had inherited some money from a gentleman named Walking Eagle from the Cheyenne River Reservation, yes, which is the Sioux Nation. Actually, the Iowa is part of the Sioux Nation. But getting into this book, it originally started as just something for the family to share with generations to come. You know, my brother and his children's children, or their children's children, and so on. And the more I got into the book and researching the genealogy, the more things that happened that were spiritual and outstanding that I thought, well, I really have something to share with more people, see, and especially those that are interested in finding their genealogy, because there's a lot of help out there that you really don't realize. See.
Did you say some spirituality gentlemen helped you, or Indians helped you?
Well, you talk to tribal members, and
Right.
actually, I made a trip. My twin brother and I, in the year 2000, went to St. Joe, Missouri, for the Founders Reunion. Now, I did find out through the St. Joe Genealogy Society, they provided me with the information of my dad's aunts, which would be my grandmother's sisters, ledger that showed the connection. Their father was Mitchell Rubidoux, and whose father was Joseph Rubidoux Jr., whose father was the founder of St. Joe, Missouri.
Well, that's a pretty unusual name, Rubidoux.
French.
French, but I mean, if it's out there, you're going to find it. I mean, but like you had Smith or Jones or one of these people, that'd be like, forget it.
Yeah, it's maybe not so. You know, once you hone in down to that fine line, you know, then doors start opening for you. I'll give you an example how doors opened for me. I first went to St. Joe to the Genealogical Society, and they provided me with information. And I left my name. The lady said, well, do you mind leaving your name and phone number and address? I said, not at all. So I get home to Camp Verde from St. Joe, and I get a phone call. Larry Ogden, yes. Well, my name is Marilyn Rubidoux. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I have been researching my family for the last 3 years, and you are the first person that your grandmother and my grandfather were siblings.
Wow, that's great.
And you are the first person that I met or have talked to. Well, since then, she and I have been sharing a lot of information. I would share with her what she found, or what I found, and she would share with me what she found. And she does research, breast cancer research for the Michigan University, so she's on the internet all the time.
So she's really researching. You know, getting to the book here to explain to people if they want to go about and doing this. I mean, it has to be a lot of hard work. I mean, it just didn't come overnight. I mean, you put almost like 8 or 9 years into this already. So, but people actually can have some kind of luck and maybe to research.
No, Richard, I think, as in my case, it's not luck.
No.
I got spiritual help.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm wearing this T-shirt today, it shows a great eagle, and it says Yankton, South Dakota, Yankton tribe. Now, I always knew that I've been enrolled with the Iowa tribe, but in my research, I found my grandmother's mother is Yankton Sioux tribe, and my grandmother's father is Iowa tribe. So my twin brother and I made a trip in the year 2000 to the reunion at St. Joe. From there, we went to Genoa Indian School because I had photos of my relatives that attended the Genoa Indian School.
Right.
And being unannounced, things just happened. We got a lot of information, and we traded information. And we were driving up to Fort Randall, and I said to my twin brother, I said, you know, things are happening too easy and too smoothly that we're getting help spiritually in this venture. And I wonder who it is, see. So we got to Fort Randall at the Yankton Sioux Tribe's casino up there to have dinner, and my twin brother wanted to pull the slot machines, and I had this strong urge to go to the gift shop. So as I'm meandering around the gift shop, I come upon this T-shirt. Here it is, a gray eagle coming out of a peace pipe that indicates spiritual. Well, there was my answer, and I get goosebumps every time I tell the story. So Gray Eagle, my brother that had died, was helping us.
Was guiding you.
See?
You know, a lot of people believe that, you know.
Yeah.
Why don't you open the book and show some people things off if you can, and maybe explain a little bit, maybe some of the things that they would be interested in. And this book is, you're marketing this book, are you? You're selling it.
Well, I went to
Are you selling it?
several publishers. I went to probably about 6 publishers.
No, 6.
Actually, this is
Haven't
a
got it yet.
manuscript. I had 15 manuscripts made up to send to publishers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got very good comments back, but I don't think there is a publisher out there that really wants to focus in on genealogy so much. They do a lot of the history, the diaries that they reported, the covered wagon days and that. There's a lot of literature out on that from the University of Oklahoma Press, University of Nebraska Press that I submitted to, but they turned me down. But getting back to the book, my first sentence is, I never considered myself a very spiritual person, but when a guardian spirit kicks you in the butt and says, hello, I'm here, you have to take notice. So, and that's what I felt happened. So I've got a lot of spiritual help in writing the book. The first chapter is called Spiritual Beginning, and it talks about when the guardian angel, when my brother was dying, and we were at his house in Scottsdale having dinner. So we knew that this was the last time that we would see him alive. My twin brother and his wife were from Texas.
Oh.
And
Wow.
so we were holding hands and sitting around the dinner table holding hands, and my twin brother was giving the evening meal prayer. And on the credenza, about arm's length away, there were 2 vases, or probably about like a 12-ounce cup, that had, one had loose feathers and one had 4 feathers taped together, or we call prayer feathers. Well, right in the middle of the evening meal blessing, the prayer feather cup shook, fell over, and the prayer feathers fell out on the floor. Well, we're standing there with our mouths open and our eyes wide, and I looked up at my sister-in-law and I said, put another plate on the table, we have company.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
And so from that moment on, we accepted that as a sign, being that it was prayer feathers. The other cup never shook. There was no gust of wind in the house, nothing. That it was a sign that his guardian spirit acknowledged that he was there to help my brother in passing and to help us make it through the 4 days.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
I think those stories are if they were a common knowledge, there'd be a lot of stories like that, but people just don't express them, you know. But so have you all through your life, have you been involved in your heritage? I know you have in your home here, you have quite a collection of Indian culture or animals.
You know, Richard, that's kind of an innate. It just comes from within, you know. And you surround yourself with your being, you know. You know, when my grandmother and her siblings were growing up in the early 1900s, and it was not popular to be a Native American. In my research, and I met people back in Kansas and Missouri and South Dakota, the most vivid memory I have of my grandmother's sister was that she put white pancake makeup on so she wouldn't be noticed as a dark-skinned person.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
sad.
because it was not considered good to be an Indian. See?
Yeah.
Well, now, today, in this century, people are thinking, well, the Indians weren't so bad, you know, their culture wasn't so bad, you know, and their ideology wasn't so bad, that they tried to, the United States government in the late 1800s, early 1900s, came and took their children away from them.
I know it was unheard of.
Took their children away from them and
Put
sent
them
them several hundred miles away to an Indian school. They couldn't speak they couldn't speak their language, dress their native dress, or say their native prayers, or they'd be punished.
And they still have the Indian Bureau of Affairs still has control of the nations today. And so there's still a lot of things going on with that, and that's a whole different issue, you know. But
well, today the society are beginning to look around, like the Enchantment Resort where I work, is rated in the top 10 in the world, but their whole theme is Native American. I mean, they have chief's head with the logo wherever you go, on the clothes, on the rugs and the carpets, and they are very proud of recognized that that was the home of the Yavapai Apache Nation.